Welcome everyone to another episode of the California Touge podcast. This time we're going to be speculating about the future of our hobby because it looks pretty grim. Today again we have Liam and Nero back again commentating on this subject matter.
I'm here to get sauced up.
Sauced up indeed. And the thing is, I wanted to talk about this because it does seem like, especially here in California, that our hobby is kind of slowly dying out. Slowly, well, gradually, maybe drowning out, maybe gurgling on the floor with a couple stab wounds to the dick or something. But the thing is, I also wanted to talk about this also because in the next couple days there's a California election. I just want to tell everyone to vote yes on Prop 6 because we all want lower gas, right?
Remember, the next California election, bomb your local politician's office.
Remember, everything on this podcast is fictitious and material, and nothing should be taken seriously. But, yes, vote yes on that so we all get lower gas, because we all know that California is not going to use that money on the roads. If they did, we would have good roads by now.
But how is they going to get them welfare?
Well, I mean, road welfare?
No, we need to take that money from the roads and give it to the welfare.
No, they're just giving it to the public transportation. Well, I guess that is kind of welfare, but...
Well, no, actually, apparently some of it, due to the way that funds are handled, they can actually funnel some of it to whatever the fuck they feel like. So some of that money just kind of disappears.
Yeah, the gas tax money, like all the money that you think is raising for the roads, it's not going to that. It's either going to something else, is going to public transportation, and yeah, that's about it. And also keep in mind, California is not really good at building anything. I mean, just look at Jerry Brown's... high-speed railway due in 2033.
Don't worry, it'll be here when we're all dead.
Yes. And honestly, even within Los Angeles here, Southern California, it takes about 2.5 years to pave about a mile length of road, so to say. And I'm not joking about that either. But let's go ahead and move on to speculating about what the future holds for us car guys and who are interested in cars and who like driving cars. Especially since anyone paying attention to the news knows that a lot of the American car companies are basically bailing out.
Yeah, just giving up, dude.
Yeah, giving up.
What do you mean by bailing out?
Well, I mean, kind of giving up. No, for example, General Motors have announced that they're trying to go straight for electric vehicles and stuff like that. And... I don't know what they're going to do with their Camaro or no, that's wrong. Corvette, and all of that.
What are they going to do with the GM Mustang?
The GM Mustang, yes. Well, speaking of the Mustang, I mean, Ford is only keeping a Mustang, give it a 4-door Mustang. They're thinking maybe possibly doing a crossover Mustang, and
I thought that was...
Okay, well, basically what they're doing is Ford decided they were going to discontinue all their cars in America besides the Mustang because they weren't selling well enough, which is surprising to me because the Fusion was actually selling really well. I mean, you've probably seen a bunch of them out on the road if you live in an area that's decent.
Everywhere.
Well, yeah, but yeah, they're discontinuing all those cars except the Mustang, and they're planning to introduce a sedan Mustang or a quote-unquote Grand Coupe, which is total BS, but you know, and also a crossover one, which is electric.
Isn't like
weird
saying
stuff.
Grand Coupe? Isn't that saying, don't worry guys, we're introducing a 4-door, 2-door?
Yes.
Yeah. That sounds
we're introducing
it's like the BMW 3 Series. Where it's like, why is the 4 Series a 3 Series now? Oh, we still have the 3 Series? It's the sedan. Well, then how come there's a 4 Series sedan?
Don't worry guys, we're making a non-movable roof convertible.
So...
Fair enough to get closer to the mic.
Yeah. So... Yeah, that's just one of the things. No, Ford, GM, I don't even know what the hell Chrysler's doing lately. What have they done lately at all?
Chrysler's still alive?
Well, Chrysler is no longer... It hasn't been for a while a company that anyone actually wanted to buy a car from because they've had negative connotations, the name isn't cool or anything. So basically they're selling the 300, which is popular with some people, and... Obviously, they can't change the name of that if it's already popular.
Also, the logo looks vaguely like a tampon.
I don't know about that. And then they're selling the Pacifica, which is basically a test platform for self-driving cars, and also a yacht for old people.
Wait, yacht?
Yacht.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said it like that, but
The great Negro scientist Jacob, who invented white people.
yeah, they're working on like they're primarily funneling their funds into Dodge. So
Oh, you also mentioned there's a little key phrase you mentioned there.
what?
Self-driving cars.
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
ever seen someone driving down the road with a Tesla with their hands off the wheel while texting and thought, gee, what would happen if I swerved towards them very gently? Because I have. And I have very much considered it. But I didn't. And I regret that I didn't. I would have loved to have had another self-driving auto crash.
Yeah.
Right, we need more of those. If you have a self-driving car, plow it into your nearest building, if you can. We need to.
I don't think anyone listening has a self-driving car. Right?
Listen, our audience is full of rich, well-off, to-do, self-driving car-owning faggots.
Okay, if you have a self-driving car and you see a white box truck stopped in front of you on the freeway, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. Nothing bad will happen.
Oh yes. Perfect.
How many of those have there been now? Like 3?
Yeah, maybe 3 this month.
It's always a fucking box truck too, which is
Yeah, it's like so weird. I mean, because
computers just don't want to acknowledge that they exist.
You just fucking paint a truck to look like the sky,
Eh.
just driving around.
yeah. So yeah, self-driving cars. That's definitely something that is taking away because for most of it, there's only 2 kinds of people on the road: the ones who want to go fast and the people who hate driving. That's basically it. I don't know if there's anyone in the middle.
There's me. I drive slow ass shit, and I'm happy about it.
In your Prius.
Not the don't you bring that up.
I don't know. I think that's
Dare talk about that.
just because that's kind of a big generalization.
It is a
There's
big
there's going to be a lot of people who enjoy driving but aren't willing to take the risks that
That is true.
might.
There are the old rich people who buy those supercars or a really expensive car who just like to cruise around at 30 miles an hour on the freeway.
This episode is brought to you by inebriation.
Oh, my mom, for example. I mean, she just drives around her 4Runner. She likes doing that.
4Runner.
She enjoys it.
Yeah.
See fucking.
I mean that's the point. You don't have to.
Ferraris, and I want to key them.
You don't have to have a sports car to enjoy driving. You
Yeah,
have to
exactly.
Coon around and enjoy driving.
Or you can be like me and have a super sport car like the Suzuki Alto. This episode brought to you by Suzuki Alto.
Okay.
Yeah. But the thing is, bringing up the Suzuki Alto, that actually brings up a good point about, actually buying suitable driver's cars, so to say. Because most of them are pretty much dying out. They're getting old, they're getting crusty, they either got, shoved into Clash of Clans. These...
Like fucking turning fat and heavy and my 600-pound life in car form.
Yeah, and that too, in some ways, but also a lot of them got eliminated in Clash of Clunkers, and here in California, there's the
Fuck
clean...
you, Obama.
Yeah, fuck you, Obama. And I seriously mean it, for doing Clash for Clunkers. And also California doing their own version of Clash for Clunkers, like Clean Air Act and all of that, where they just trade in old pieces of shit for...
A very small amount of money.
Pretty much a small amount of money. I mean, it depends. If you really did have a piece of shit car that barely ran, they will give you about double, triple the value of it. But if you had like an actually working car, that's basically throwing a good car away. Because now you eliminated a car from the market, you also eliminate any spare parts that car could have donated.
That's right. They junk the whole thing to
Yes.
make sure that no one gets to use parts from it. Because they want to kill other cars by proxy.
Yes. Exactly. And
And
after...
I'm going to kill them by proxy with a manure bomb.
Well, there's a car called the Oldsmobile Aurora, and most people probably haven't heard of one. And that's probably because Cash for Clunkers destroyed about 90% of them.
I have never heard of that fucking thing.
But you still see them around. They're this front-wheel drive thing with a 4-liter V8. And it looks kind of like a 90s blob, but that's a thing, though. Like, so many of those were destroyed by Cash for Clunkers. I think that was the most destroyed car.
I know that
when I looked at a list before.
The Vehicross, a bunch of those got destroyed.
Yeah, like 11.
Yeah, but there's only like 12 of them in the United States, so.
The Viacross, who made that? I heard that name.
Isuzu.
Isuzu.
Isuzu was actually the first automaker to offer a vehicle with direct injection that wasn't a super expensive foreign luxury car. The
And
first three
also-
vehicles that had a direct injection, they were the BMW 760 Li, the Rolls-Royce Phantom, and the Isuzu Axiom SUV.
I mean, just like you can just like imagine like those two, like the car designers for those other two cars, like they're together, and all of a sudden like the Isuzu guys come over and they're just like, "Fuck, these guys are here again." Oh, hey guys, thanks for also designing a direct injection.
But of course, now those don't exist anymore because first off, it was one of the first cars with direct injection. Second off, it was made by Isuzu. And third off, why would anyone buy a car with either of those aspects? So I saw one with my friend Austin the other day, and we were like, holy shit, what the hell is that thing? That's
How do you
hideous.
Get parts for something like that.
I'm
I thought it
not
was hard
sure.
to get parts for Suzuki, but
Well, they didn't sell the Suzuki here.
no, but I mean modern day Suzuki's like the Suzuki pulled the fuck out. It's harder to get parts for a modern Suzuki than it is from my Suzuki.
Look, all I know is this: there was. I'd never seen the car until recently, and it came out in 2004. So,
Wow.
and I keep an eye out for different kind of cars.
This episode brought to you by.
Yep.
This episode is brought to you by uninteresting piece of garbage cars from companies that aren't relevant anymore.
Yes. And
They're
speaking
a big
about
sponsor. They're a really big sponsor.
speaking about uninteresting cars, let's talk about like actually drivers' cars coming out in the future. Something that's somewhat affordable. No.
What about the Ford Focus RS?
That's a driver's car.
I mean, it is, but it's also got a exploding engine.
Well, finish your thoughts.
Well, I mean, there is a well, they're not making that anymore, are they?
Mm-mm.
But there's
They're
still
gone.
the BRZ and 8.6 still coming out. There's the what else?
The Miata.
Miata, yeah, the ND Miata. I heard that's running really strong right now with the new Mazda's new Sky Active X
It's
engine.
the only fucking option is why it's running so strong.
Yeah, I mean it's
Well, it's a good car. I mean, it's 2,300 pounds in 2018, where the weight of a vehicle is almost
wait,
yeah,
it's
it's
only
2,300
Yes, it is.
pounds. Liam.
it is literally like between 23 and 2,400. But Mazda has made sure to stick to that weight
It is-
throughout all of their
Thank you,
Miatas.
Mazda.
That thing is literally like an incredible feat of engineering. I mean, the engine isn't the most powerful. It's got 181 horsepower.
It's never been that.
But you got this 6-speed gearbox. You got it's the same price as the NA adjusted for inflation, and it weighs 2,300 pounds in this year. That's unbelievable in my
Yes.
opinion. Rear-wheel drive.
You guys, I'm gonna look up some other numbers just to compare rates here. Hold on.
Well, yeah, the ND Miata, the new one, especially with the Sky Act, is also surprisingly good on gas mileage as well. You can actually believe you get more than 30 on a rear-wheel drive car that's made to be kind of sporty and, well, fast-ish. Is
Also, I mean, some of our viewers may have watched Hot Version. It's this Japanese auto show
Oh my fucking god.
from Best Motoring, and their driver DK Tsuchiya, also known as the Drift King,
Mhm.
he there's one episode where he drove like an NA and an ND Miata, and he was like, critiquing the NA. And he was like, this ND is basically perfect from factory. Like this is an incredible car.
Ah!
Like it, even some of the best drivers think it's an amazing car.
Here, just to put in perspective, now don't throw up when I say this.
What?
So the new Miata, you said 2,300.
Mhm.
The new Fiat 500 weighs between 2,366 and 2,500 pounds.
What, the 500?
The Fiat 500,
Why is it so much?
because it's garbage.
Yeah, it's pretty much garbage. Is that like just the regular 500 or the R-Barth, or do they even make that anymore?
I don't know if they did it. I remember I was actually considering.
I
getting
think does the Abarth have all-wheel drive?
no,
Oh,
it's
damn.
front wheel drive.
Front wheel, yeah.
If it had all-wheel drive, I would say it would be a great driver's car.
And
Yeah.
if it was rear wheel drive, I would say that it wasn't spitting in the face of the history of the 500.
Well, regardless of the history, all it needs to be is all-wheel drive. It has an amazing exhaust note.
Yeah, because they don't have what is it? They don't have a cat. No, they have a cat, but they don't have an actual muffler.
Yeah, but
inside
they're
it.
still making a nice exhaust note with the 4-cylinder.
No, I mean, I'm saying like they decided, hey, just fuck it, guys. Let's just basically put a sport exhaust on from factory, which is weird because they actually do have an all-wheel drive system that they use in the 500L and the 500X. But those are fucking SUVs.
Seems like they're missing what people are after, honestly.
I mean, to be honest, I was considering getting a 500.
Mhm.
I was like, when I was looking at new cars before I, grew a brain.
We're excluding someone. I just realized there is an automaker that's been making all-wheel drive sports cars that have a great deal of practicality, and they weigh no more than they have back in 2004 when they first came out, and that's going to be the Subaru WRX STI.
Yeah, I mean,
Those are gay.
It weighs a few more pounds more, and
What
makes
is
about 5-10 more horsepower, but it's fundamentally the same
The
car.
reason it weighs so much less is because it just shits out all the oil that weighs so much.
Oh yeah, okay.
I mean, the
But it's
STIs, they
don't
weigh
need
about, what,
fucking-
3,300, 3,400?
But they've always weighed that much. That's the thing. They've always weighed quite a bit. If you go
Right.
look at the weights of the old models,
Boxer.
It's comparable.
engine.
Yeah.
3,300 pounds isn't that big of a deal.
Boxer.
Yeah. That's still like a good, Touge car. Take corners really well, can exit pretty fast, especially with the all-wheel drive system. It's just, it's kind of hard to find a car besides like the Miata or the BR0 or 86 that's below 3,000 pounds and still considered like a driver's car and still has some spunk behind it. Well, like for example, like the BRZ FRS 86, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
The faggot.
The faggot. Yeah, whatever. I mean, it's I guess a nice car. I haven't driven it myself, but we do know someone who drives one, and seems like that person who regrets buying it and still wants an Integra back. But
Well, the Fiat 124 is actually a pretty good car as well. If we're talking about
Because
Fiat,
it's a Miata.
it's fundamentally Miata, yes,
yeah,
but
it's,
it is an option.
well,
Yeah,
I mean, the
But
Miata
it's
was.
a Miata.
I mean, the Miato's based off the European roadsters, but I mean, they made it better.
They're largely different vehicles. I mean, in terms of their styling.
About the Fiat, because I was considering getting one. I went to like 8 different fucking dealers, and I was like, hey, can I test drive like the Fiat 500 Abarth or the Turbo or anything really? And they're like, yeah, sure. I'm like, hey, do you have any in manual? No.
oh, that's garbage.
So it's like, why would I want your like cheapo ass automatic system? I don't even know. I don't think the automatic ones have.
Why would they even sell that car with an automatic transmission?
They have more automatics than they do have manuals.
But why would they even bother?
Because fuck your mother in the ass.
What's the demographic of people who want an Abarth Fiat 500 in automatic?
Well,
like,
we
what
are
the
in. I mean, we're right near West Hollywood, so like,
That makes that does make a lot of sense, and that's actually another thing I want to bring up.
yeah,
is-
pedophiles objectively go for automatics more than manuals. It's very interesting.
Well, I mean, that could be a strong corroborating evidence, but no, most people go for automatics.
Yeah,
so
most people are pedophiles.
there we go.
Wow.
How do you prove you're not a pedophile? Drive a manual. Because guess what? Stick shift is like a real man's dick, and automatic like a little boy's peener. That is 100% irrefutable fact.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it depends. If it's like a stick shifter or maybe a column shifter, which one's more like a boy's wiener in that?
I think you have to measure length.
You guys are gay.
Listen here, motherfucker. If you call me gay one more time, I'm gonna suck your entire body into my anus and crush it, my sphincter muscles. Then we'll see who's gay.
Okay.
Yeah, just make me on the Touge, faggot. Beat you in my Miata.
I'll beat you in my Crown Victoria.
I'll beat you in my terrifying shifter cart. Oh,
We'll take it to Little T.
I would. You guys have to come over after this and try it out because,
Do you have a helmet?
yeah, I do actually.
Okay.
Oh, okay, there. Yes,
Yeah,
by the way.
Oh God.
Yeah, by the way, Liam here decided to splurge on a shifter goat cart. So,
Yeah, and you know what? I'm so happy. I've always wanted one, but my God, my fucking God, I've never driven anything so fucking terrifying. My V6 3-liter Schlock SW20 was less scary to drive than this thing at like 20 miles per hour.
Yeah, that's because it made out 100 horsepower.
We're like 200 and something horsepower.
Okay.
It was like
Makes 0 now.
Yeah, I don't even know what the fuck's happened with that. I need to contact. This episode brought to you by ETL Motorsports and their inability to ever fucking get back to you.
This episode brought to you by Toyota Solara engine.
I mean, it's not a bad engine, just it's just boring, and there's no aftermarket for it. I mean, yeah, there is one aftermarket. Sorry, there is a TRD supercharger that you can buy for more than the price of a Toyota Solara.
Wait, really?
To actually get one of those TRD superchargers, guess how much? The cheapest I ever saw one.
11.
$5,000.
That's not that bad.
A Toyota Solara with the supercharger is like $2,000.
Oh, wait. So you're telling me they had a supercharged version that you could
Of
buy?
the
as
Solara.
well?
So wait, what?
There was
Really?
a supercharged Solara. You didn't know about this?
No.
There was a the TRD Solara, and it came with a fucking TRD supercharger.
I have never seen a TRD Solara.
I mean, I actually do see Solaras decently often.
Yeah, me too. But I think the Solara is funny because they went from a car that looked kind of cool in the first gen to one of the most hideous fucking pieces of shit imaginable
Bar
in the
of
second
soap.
gen.
Bar of soap.
Like,
It's a
and then you
blob.
got the convertible ones.
Those, I think, look horrible.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, I mean, all convertibles look horrible. That's why I got a hard top for my Miata.
That doesn't help. It still looks horrible. So, as your wife says, it's the mermaid color Miata.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, mermaid angles.
It's mermaid magic, bro.
Just jealous of my fabulous crystal blue Miata. It's like,
Bitch, I drive a car way gayer than your Miata, okay?
You're just
Guess
jealous
what?
of my North Sea blue metallic Crown Victoria.
Guess what? My car is so gay, it's not even driving right now. Okay?
You're just jealous of my Alpenweiss BMW 318 Ti.
You're jealous of my car that shares a majority of its parts with the Geo Metro.
No one
it's
ever
okay,
said that.
Can't even finish a straight line drag, quarter mile.
I mean, with the ECU in there, yeah, it really wouldn't want to. And the fact that my gearbox is that's a give up.
There's actually no published quarter mile times for the Hummer H2 because it couldn't get that far before running out of gas.
You know, it's bullshit, but I believe it. Speaking of Hummers, who here wants to buy a HMMV with me?
No one.
No one.
Fuck you guys. There's a Caterpillar.
Buy your own HMMV.
Well, I mean, let's get back on topic. So, what's the future of, like, maybe sporty or driver's cars? Well, no, cars, I'm thinking cars, like, made for... It doesn't have to be a supercar. It doesn't have to be something made by Porsche or Ferrari or whatever.
Do you want to go first? You want to go first, Miro? Because
Huh?
I have a nice little vision in my head I can tell you guys about. I've seen the future. And
Okay, tell me about your foresight, Liam.
Go ahead.
Okay, I can tell you about my foreskin. Okay. Let's see. What year is it? It's 2018, right?
Yes, it's 2018. It's the current year right now, Liam.
Right. The year is 2024. All road-going vehicles have been banned unless autonomous, electric, or both. Anyone who wishes to drive a gasoline-powered vehicle must ride a bus 364 days of the year, except for one day. It's like the Purge, but with like gasoline vehicles, where you're allowed to drive it for one day of the year. All performance cars are banned unless they're like $1 bajillion, because rich faggots still want their performance cars. But for entry-level stuff, everything will be banned, because the Silicon Valley shit dicks will team up with the pearl-clutching safety fuckers who want to regulate everything. And they're going to team up together and go, oh, think of the children! Think of my little Timmy, and he wanders out into the street without looking both ways because he's fucking retarded, and he gets run over by someone going 20 miles per hour because he sprinted in front of a moving vehicle. Isn't it so sad that he could die that way? We need to ban cars, unless they're autonomous, because then they can save our children.
Well, what about autonomous assault cars?
Well, you see, actually, here's something dark and current. Because of the way that the Digital Millennium Copyright Act works, you cannot legally look at the software that is running your car. So I'm just assuming that that's going to be like your car, like you'll like plug a little USB into it, and then it'll just call the cops, and then they just bust down your door like a fucking like one of those battering rams. They tase you, they
FBI, open up!
beat your face into the fucking floor, and you motherfucker, you trying to kill kids? And then they throw you in the, because of the fact that they'll have, taken over, like the Silicon Valley types will have taken over. Google will be running courts, of course. And you'll just be thrown in jail without a trial because it'll be AI, like, algorithmically determined that you're guilty. you'll be thrown in jail, and you'll never leave, and then you'll die, because that's the future. And so that's why, if you live near a server farm, you need to get some manure. And
So please explain how that has to do with anything.
I'm saying that regulations are going to get stricter and stricter.
That's
and
something.
stricter.
Yeah, that is
It's going
a
to start in Europe.
most likely future.
It's going to start in Europe because they don't have as much of a car culture, much of a driving culture. And there's, it's public transportation in Europe. Fuck you, okay?
Here's the way
All the
I see it.
gypsies living on those fucking subways and shit, panhandling for money, huh? Fucking pieces of shit. So it's going to start there, and then everyone's going to go, look at how safe Europe is. It's so wonderful. We need to regulate, and then it's going to be New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and San Francisco is probably going to be completely, 100 feet below human feces, just a tidal wave of human feces.
Well, hold on. Not just human feces. That's just
Needles.
Yeah, human feces. You gotta be more accurate about this. You gotta be
hold on.
correct.
That's not how it's going to
It's
be.
going to be Los Angeles, Seattle, New York are going to start implementing things like, oh, if you have an autonomous driving car, you can take the fast lane. Even though that, completely, the whole point of having them would be like, oh, there's no traffic because autonomous cars can, communicate and shit.
Actually, can't current electric vehicles just take the carpool lane because they have a certain sticker?
Kind
on it?
of. California actually found out that's, costing them a ton of money, so they're like, we should stop doing that. Which is retarded because, again, that's one of the whole reasons people are getting hybrids and electric cars because, oh, let me take the carpool. But then they're like, well, it's clogging up the carpool lane, so we'll just have different types of things. And, oh, by the way, we're also going to have paid, lanes now instead of carpool lanes. So if you want to take the lighter traffic area, don't carpool. Pay us money, fucking poor piece of shit.
Well, the thing is, I
Have
actually
you been down those areas?
Yeah, I actually been down to those
Fast
areas.
pass.
Yeah,
But
fast pass. Faggot pass.
The thing is, I actually have nothing against fast passes because,
Well, they should have a carpool lane as well, but you can't drive in it.
yes, they should have both lanes, a carpool lane and a fast pass.
Or
lane.
you can use fast pass if you're carpooling, but they don't. They took away the carpool lane to put in fast pass.
Yes, that's completely retarded. But honestly, fast passes might be a way to help ease congestion in some areas to allow a free market to work, have people who really want to get into a place where to pay, what, $1, $2 or whatever to get there a little bit
It's
faster.
like $15
Well, that's
if you're using a single time use.
that's a lot different. But
I know this because I have been charged for it. Because I was riding my motorcycle on the split and it still charged me.
what's bullshit about those is that sometimes they don't really put signs up because I accidentally entered fast
Hold
pass
on.
or toll lanes without even realizing it.
I got a ticket for going in one of those because I had to go around a crashed car. I had to go into that lane to get around a crashed car,
And took your fucking photo.
and it gave me a ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
At least it's not super tier. You can pay it before they give you the heavy fine, that regular toll fee.
Yeah, if you know that.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
taking
If
your
you
photo.
know it, that's the problem. If you know it, because they won't tell you until 3 months later, until the bill racks up and they charge you $150 or whatever.
I'm telling you,
Well, I
it's
gotta-
gonna get fucking worse.
I gotta tell you this though. Here's the thing. Now, if you look what's happened with older cars, right? If you have a car from before the 70s or even during the 70s, it's not subject to the same safety regulations
That's the car law.
or smog regulations that cars currently are.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: if you have one of those old cars, you can sit in the bed with. If you have an old truck from before the seatbelt laws, you can basically sit in the bed without a seatbelt on.
Yeah, because that's the stock.
That's the stock configuration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the
fine.
thing: based on those laws, those grandfather clauses, so to say, I think that eventually, in America, they will stop selling cars that you can drive yourself. I don't think it's going to be that soon. I think it's going to be many decades down the line.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll stop selling cars that you can drive yourself, but you'll still be able to drive ones that you already own. You'll still be able to drive ones that you bought.
Well, here's
Just they won't be able to be produced anymore.
There's one little problem with that.
What?
California is already doing sneaky shit, trying to get around that. So the whole 25-year rule. Well, that only applies if it's a car that's been here for 25 years. We have our own laws now. If it's over 1975, then you can drive it without any smog or anything if it came from out of state. If it's in state, the 25-year rule still applies. If you want to bring in your classic car, from like out of state, or heaven forbid, you want to import something, then it's like, well, actually, you need to smog it. And I think other states are going to start doing that too. The bigger population states. Places like South Dakota, this episode brought to you by South Dakota, do not give a single shit about emissions or any of that stuff.
Reminder also that this country's not even relevant on the global scale when it comes to our emissions. India and China produce far more, and they don't get any.
The entire Western world, so that's like Europe, Canada, North America.
First world countries.
Yeah, the good places that aren't filled with animals. We only contribute 10% of the world's pollution. All of us combined. It's 10%.
Yes.
And then here's the great fact. All the cars combined in America do not produce as much pollution as one of those giant like cross transit shipping ships. Shipping ships.
Freighters.
Yeah, for one freighter produces more pollution than every car in America combined. So we need to regulate you. Oh, you want to import a Nissan Skyline? That's going to kill the environment. Oh, God.
I mean, for the 25 import ban, it's not exactly like pollution. I mean, that's what they probably say it is. More like
the one that's managing it isn't the safety department. They don't care about the safety. If you want to have that in California, you have to modify the emissions.
Yeah.
That's all they care about is the emissions, because it's hard to tax safety equipment. But you can tax emissions and then take that money and shove it back into whatever horrific programs that California's doing.
Yeah. And that's brings an interesting point, especially with future cars and how car manufacturers might go, especially with electric vehicles. We were talking about this earlier, especially with Prop 6 here in California. Electric vehicles don't get gas. So they're not paying their fair share of road taxes, paving the road, yet there's more and more of those in California, especially up in Silicon Valley and all that. So it's kind of unfair to the poor people of us who have to get gasoline and petrol cars. And
how big is Silicon Valley? Like, how many square miles?
I do not know.
How many square miles does a nuke take out?
It's probably enough.
How many would we need?
I'd say 3 for good measure. Like 2 in San Francisco, and then our third one in San Francisco.
Yeah, just if San Francisco turns into a crater, what net benefit would it produce to the world? Write down in the comments below.
I mean, Google is there, so actually, might be a better place.
Yeah,
but who knows?
There's tons of other search engines. Okay.
Yes. This is brought to you by DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo. When you want to search up something possibly illegal and don't want to get tracked for it.
Brought to you by Baidu.
Baidu?
Oh my God, I haven't.
Or Ask Jeeves.
Oh my God.
Brought to you by Yahoo
got bought by Yahoo or Google. I can't remember.
But Yahoo got bought by Microsoft. By the way, Bing, interesting fact, I think it believes because it's not Google.
Yeah, I mean, you can search stuff on Bing and you'll find actual results instead of Google trying to push you some bullshit.
Yeah, but moving away, we need to talk about cars again.
Okay, so self-driving cars are probably going to be a big thing, and they're going to start passing because, of course, all the self-driving car things are owned by huge corporations who can lobby.
Yes.
And they are going to lobby for, wouldn't it be great if there was some sort of benefit for people who drive self-driving cars, maybe a tax break, or maybe they can use the fast path lanes.
Yes.
It's going to start with that. It's going to start with that, and then it's going to start moving to, these people driving their non-autonomous cars, they're such a danger. We should put a tax on those to help pay for safety. How is that going to work? I don't know, but we should definitely take money from them. And then more and more people are like, I should go buy a self-driving car so I don't got to pay that tax. And then it's just going to go downhill from there.
That is something I completely agree with, because even when first electric vehicles come out, there was the tax deductible. Like, it was like $7,000 or so at first.
Yeah.
And at some point it got down to like $3,500 or something, but that's the thing though. car drivers don't really like electric vehicles. They're kind of not fun.
Here's the thing. I don't have a problem with electric vehicles for commuting.
Commuting, yeah, I mean, if it's a daily drive, it's fine.
They could fucking have some sort of power source that wasn't shit, like batteries. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Well, the thing is, with those, there was also that tax deductible, like you said. And the thing is, that kind of screws over kind of the poor, the poverty, the middle class, because
What are you, too poor to afford a rich person car? You don't get any free benefits, you fucking piece of shit.
Yes, exactly. The tax deductible only benefits the rich who can't afford buying an electric vehicle. So they get like $7,000 off their $40,000 electric vehicle, whether it's a Leaf or
This episode brought to you
Bolt.
by Light a Tesla on Fire.
Yes, and especially any sort of Tesla, which are known to have overeating batteries and craps like that.
Elon Musk, I know you're listening right now because our podcast is so popular. I love you, man, but fuck Tesla. Fuck Tesla. Fuck everything to do with that car company, okay? I hate the cars. I hate the people who drive them. I hate the fact that they are on the road next to me. I get like, I just, blood starts flowing into my eyes, and I just, it's like I've snorted like testosterone. Like the presence of such an emasculating vehicle just makes me want to hurt things. And then I go home, and I have a big collection of hamsters, and I put one in a sock.
Okay, filthy Frank.
Well, yes, Mr. Musk, if you are indeed listening, please don't forget Tesla.
Yeah, he is. Like, don't pretend he's not.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we have such a big and grand audience. I'm pretty sure Mr. Musk is listening. And please, forget Tesla and actually focus on the rockets, SpaceX, and
make a hydrogen-powered car.
Yes, hydrogen. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually.
Because you know what? Hydrogen has all the benefits. Did we talk about this on another podcast?
No, we haven't talked about hydrogen at all.
Okay. I want hydrogen to be a thing. I know it's probably not going to be a thing because it's just too fucking great. I mean, there's some downsides. It does not produce as much energy as gasoline, and it's much hotter, which means you would have to adapt engines to run on it. I mean, it is a problem that it only produces like half. Here's a perfect example. Mazda, their rotary RX-8. They made one that could run on hydrogen. It produced half the power of the gas version.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, the engine, it was the same engine. The engine, when you run out, you could switch it between gas and hydrogen.
Really?
Yeah, because they're both combustible. I mean, you can, shoot hydrogen into an engine, and it'll run like shit, but it'll run.
Because most hydrogen cars that are being marketed today are actually running on fuel cells.
Yeah.
So they're essentially kind of like electric vehicles.
But even then, I'm fine with that. Because guess what? Hydrogen doesn't degrade. Hydrogen, it's not like, I mean, even gasoline. Like, if you were to store gasoline for a couple months, it loses almost all of its combustible,
time
property.
does degrade shit like that, so.
Batteries, too. They lose electricity.
And
Hydrogen is a fucking pure element. It doesn't, oh no, my hydrogen's expired. No, that doesn't happen. And you can burn it, and you can, if we start moving, I mean, look at, I would probably say if we're going to move toward hydrogen, I'm going to bet you Mazda is going to be the nut jobs on the head. I mean, Toyota started it, but
yeah.
Mazda has some of the craziest goddamn engines right now with all their, thermal efficiency and shit. If they hooked one of those up to hydrogen, I don't know what the hell would happen. Maybe their universe would just implode.
They should make a rotary hydrogen, full-on rotary hydrogen engine. That would definitely.
That would be awesome. I would sell a kidney to buy that just to be one of the people to fucking have that. I love hydrogen. I love the fact that it's oh cool, it's this thing that lasts forever. You can hook up a solar generator to a it's electrolysis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, electrolysis machine, just have it constantly producing, and it's basically it's not perfectly efficient at converting the energy from the sun into the energy for the thing. Who cares? Because it doesn't go anywhere. You can put a tank of hydrogen, leave it there for 30 fucking years, about the same combustibility as when you put it in there. The problem with batteries is you charge it with a solar panel, it loses that energy after a while. It's yeah, no shit, so let's not do that.
And it's also less resource intensive as well. By the way, listeners, hybrids and electric vehicles are more damaging to the environment than any
Fuck
petrol or
batteries.
gas car there is.
Fuck lithium. Fuck all that shit. There
Yes.
are some batteries that they're working on that do not use lithium. There are iron oxide batteries.
What, rust?
Yeah, I'm not joking. I have a box. That's the ones I was going to use for my electric. I was going to make an electric motorcycle, viewers. Don't ever do that. It's a terrible idea. I have a box full of iron oxide. They're iron oxide batteries. And they use, instead of like potassium and something else, they still use some lithium, I think,
Mm-hmm.
but the majority of it's iron. They hold a charge a lot longer. They don't give it out as easily, right? It's like the diesel of the fucking battery world. Like, they constantly produce energy, and there's no, like, as they lose charge, they keep kind of putting out the same amount. It's not like they're on other batteries where you kind of see that dip of the amount of like voltage or whatever they're producing.
Okay.
They basically keep producing the same amount of power until they're dead. And there's a little drop off at the end. They keep it for a lot longer, and they're easier to produce, and they're not as toxic. Only problem is they're still fucking batteries.
Yeah.
It still sucks. Hydrogen is the way to go because you can, theoretically, convert your engine to run on hydrogen. It's not going to be as powerful, and it's going to get a lot hotter. You're going to have to cool it down a lot more. But theoretically, even if they ban gasoline cars, let's say worst case scenario, they ban gasoline cars. The Saudis end up using up all their oil or some stupid shit like
Yeah.
that, right? You theoretically could still keep driving around your car on hydrogen, which is awesome. Fuck that. That's
super awesome. Yeah.
It is. Also,
Just use ethanol.
you stop it right there, young man. I mean, actually, doesn't ethanol not produce that many doesn't produce that much bad shit compared to gasoline?
Well, the thing about, I was thinking in this case of more of like a technicality workaround. You know, you said they banned gasoline cars. I mean, the thing about ethanol is, ethanol. Now, a lot of people criticize it because they say, "Oh yeah, well, it costs more to make a gallon of ethanol than it costs to buy it, so it's just losing money." But that's actually not the case. The reason it's like that is because ethanol is currently produced using corn
Which is
to
dumb.
subsidize farmers,
Yes.
which is a program supported by the government. Now, when you use corn to produce ethanol, you have to
Use a lot
extract
more
the starches from the corn, break that starch down into sugars, which is a lossy process, and then form those sugars into alcohol, which is what ethanol is. But if you use sugarcane, you can just go directly to sugars to
Well,
to
the problem
ethanol.
is with sugarcane because in the U.S. it's actually really, really hard to grow sugarcane. It's only in certain places, which is why most
You're
sugar
gonna
comes
have
from the
high
Caribbean.
heat and also lots of
Yeah.
moisture.
Yeah,
that is
why
a problem.
A lot of moisture.
Yeah, that's why most sugarcane comes from the Caribbean.
Yeah, that is a problem. But however, it
Just
is
stop using
possible.
fucking corn. There's probably other. The switchgrass was one of the ones they were saying
Yeah.
was easy to produce ethanol from.
Cars were actually largely powered using ethanol until the Prohibition era.
Yeah.
And that's one of the interesting things about it that people don't realize. And it wasn't made from corn then. And even now, ethanol could be produced for under $1 a gallon.
Yeah, I mean,
And it's hard to
just
say
makes
how it
motion.
would adapt. It's hard to say how it would adapt
Well-
to mass adoption. But
Here, I can tell you some problems with ethanol. It has
Okay.
the same problem hydrogen has. It burns very hot.
it doesn't burn as hot as hydrogen does.
Doesn't burn as hot as hydrogen, but it does burn very hot, and it also, in just the way that like fuel injection and carburation works, smaller engines can reach like critical failure levels of heat very easily. That's I used to be very big on the motorcycle scene before I got run over so many times. I'm waiting till I move out of this shithole that we're in before I get back on a bike. But there's two problems with motorcycles and ethanol, and this just applies to small engine in general. It burns really hot at those like small quantities for whatever reason. There's not as much, surface to disperse the heat.
Mhm.
And also, this applies to cars too. Older cars and I guess you have to replace with hydrogen, but older cars and older bikes, a lot of the gaskets and lines and stuff, ethanol fucking dissolves it and turns it into like a gluey paste, then gets sprayed into your
yeah.
engine and totals it.
And that's why ethanol powered vehicles or flex fuel vehicles usually have things like metal fuel lines instead.
Yeah.
And according to this here, it says that the temperature of ignition for ethanol is actually lower. It's 1,920
But it
Celsius compared to
burns hotter.
2,030.
The ignition's lower, but it
All right.
burns hotter.
But there is a couple good things about it in terms of a car fuel source. As much higher octane, so higher compression ratio can be run, which means that you can achieve better fuel. Well, no, that's not true.
If we adapt our cars to run on it, give it a couple of years, it'll probably be better than gasoline.
It can produce more power, but it's less energy dense than gasoline. So you'll get like a 5 to 10% power gain, but like a 30% power loss. But if you can get it under $1 a gallon, it's unarguably better than gasoline.
Ethanol itself, it does like some flexible vehicles will get more power out of it, but less mileage.
I mean, you see like guys running their cars on E85 or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it produces more power. I mean, yeah, that's just the case. One of my things, I mean, I think everyone at this table can kind of agree that gas, neither of us is very much a fan of gasoline. It's just it's the best option right now.
Yes, that's true.
It's shitty, it pollutes, it's dumb, it's fucking made out of dinosaurs, so we're killing dinosaurs to make it. It's fucking horrible, dude. I wanted to see a T-Rex in my lifetime. Probably not going to see one now.
The main thing is, though, at the end of the day,
we're going to run out of it.
No one's dedicated to gasoline, or they shouldn't be. If they are, they're probably a lunatic. What car enthusiasts like is internal combustion engines.
And performance.
Yeah, and both hydrogen and ethanol do have the ability to offer those things. And they can run an internal combustion engine. But electric cars and the battery systems that they're using, they don't have the ability to withstand these, insane...
It's a failing system.
Yeah.
I mean...
they don't last. And they
especially,
can't
after like 2 or 3 years, the batteries will lose capacity. The batteries will lose capacity over time, and you will need to replace them within 5 years or so, or they won't hold that same charge. I mean, think of your own smartphone. After a year or so, you will notice that smartphone is not holding the exact same charge because lithium batteries do degrade over time. And it's especially true, with Tesla. For example, Tesla, I don't think there's a lap record like the Burger Ring or anything like that, because they're not really performance vehicles.
There is a lap record, and it got beat by the Scion FRS. But this is the fastest car ever, guys.
Hey, listen, if you're shilling for Tesla, you're either retarded or you're a piece of shit.
I mean, I guess Tesla's good on like a quarter-mile strip, but...
Yeah, for the 10 times that the battery still works.
Race me more than twice, faggot.
Yeah, I like to see the batteries melting out through the unibody as it goes along the strip.
Did someone LS swap a Tesla? That's been done.
That seems like a total waste of time and energy, in my opinion.
Fucking hilarious.
I don't think that's possible because the motors in the Tesla are like near the wheels.
They swapped out everything.
You could carve out You could easily carve out the trunk in the front and just put an engine in there.
Fisker, those crazy ass bastards.
With the mustache car?
What is it? A Mustang?
Yeah, the mustache car.
The lift car.
No, Fisker Karma looks like it has a mustache.
I can kind of see. I'd have to look at it again.
Oh.
I saw one driving the other day. It's like a small bank of batteries, but the majority of the charge is made from a V8 engine that's inside of it.
So it's a hybrid.
Kinda. Basically, they're using the electricity as the drivetrain, which theoretically, if we get to the point,
and they're just using the engine as a generator.
Yeah, or they're just using it to send electricity, send the power from the engine to the wheels, but they're doing it through electric instead of a.
That just sounds like a worse hybrid system to me.
Here's the thing, though. Theoretically, and they do perform pretty well. You could use that system as a more because there's lots of mechanical loss that happens with the drivetrain and transmission and shit. If you don't have that big complicated. Oh God! I just threw my mouth a little bit. Just talking about electric cars, Jesus. If you don't have that big, complicated mechanical system, theoretically, you could have less loss through a direct electrical system. So I can kind of get behind that.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool. The whole problem it comes back to it. I don't have a problem with electric vehicles. I have a problem with batteries.
Yeah, the batteries themselves they're not. They melt.
They melt, they suck, they lose charge, they're terrible for the environment. Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, look at, again, viewers, or listeners rather. Listeners.
For all you watching at home right now on your 65-inch television.
Listeners. Like, look at your smartphone. I'm pretty sure everyone who's listening has changed out their smartphones within 3 or so years, at least if you're not super poor. Because again,
Yeah, I'm such a rich motherfucker. I do it every 6 months.
I know people who are actually like that. Just change it out like
That sounds like a fucking douchebag.
But the charge does lose over time. Your efficiency of that electrical charge does fade, and that's a major problem. But another thing I do want to talk about is autonomy. Now, in truth, I have nothing wrong with autonomy if daily drivers, no, people who just don't want to be on the road, who just don't want to drive, that's fine for them. But at the same time, that might also set a precedent, like you said before, that we must switch over to autonomy. But I think there's actually a solution to this, like a middle ground. For example, how about just turn old petrol cars, old gas cars, and have a signal to send to autonomous cars? Plug in your OBD2 reader or something, or just plug in that cigarette lighter that says a signal, hey, there's a car here, and that way it communicates with other actual real autonomous cars.
Do you think
I don't know how well that would work.
Do you think the different companies are actually going to make cars that communicate with each other? I mean, I can't say that they wouldn't, because there are plenty of examples of tech and machinery where everyone went, guys, we need to have the fucking same thing.
Sometimes, there's always standard architecture for these kind of things.
It would be kind of cool if those cars could communicate. I mean, one of the biggest problems with traffic is the fact that, people are dumb.
Yeah, people, when you're on the freeway or in a traffic jam, people don't really communicate with each other. But if you're in, like, a suburb residential neighborhood and you're at a four-way intersection, you instantly look at the other cars. You can see those, their faces. They can actually make hand gestures, say, hey, go first or whatever.
So I imagine it's electric and it's doing it in this, blink of an eye.
Yeah.
So that could be, but my fear is that it's not going to be an option. It's going to be a requirement.
Yes, that is the trouble.
You look throughout history, and there's always this thing where, hey, is this option safer? Is it slightly safer? Is it partially safer? Is it safer in one or two occasions? Well, now it's the law. I mean, I don't want to use seatbelts as an example because they do actually work. I mean, theoretically, you could say that autonomous cars would also work, but that's a great example. Oh, you're required to do it because it's safer. I'm trying to think of a better example. The
airbags. Every car requires them now. So.
Yeah, but I mean, that's another example. They do work. Mine worked.
Yeah,
mine worked when I flipped my fucking car.
Mine worked when I crashed into a cliffside wall on my Sonic.
That's there's got to be some the airport security, the TSA.
Yes,
there we go. That's an example that works. You go in. They barely do. I mean, there's all these cases of people smuggling in shit to the TSA and they don't even fucking notice because they're just a bunch of untrained dipshits.
Yeah.
If you are if you're an FBI or if you're a CIA or a service member, you have the option to try and test the TSA by smuggling something through, and just have people smuggling hand grenades and fucking fucking fully automatic weapons and shit.
Yeah, I mean, TSA themselves, their supervisors or the managers at certain airports actually try to smuggle bombs and stuff like that. And
they never fucking notice, apparently.
8 out of 10 times, the agents fail.
I thought it was more like 9 out of 10 times.
I wouldn't be fucking surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised. Most of the time they fail. I mean, as a personal anecdote, my wife always carries pepper spray in her purse. Not once she has been stopped by the TSA with pepper spray.
This isn't the TSA, but we did go to Halloween Horror Nights, and Evie forgot that she had her fucking switchblade in her purse.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, shit, okay. She didn't want to get it's like a memento for her. It's a tiny little piece of shit, but it's like a memento for her, It's got personal value. She's always had it. It's like her knife,
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, and okay, you can either try to put it in your sock, I can put it in the bottom of my shoe or something like that. And we're looking through her bag, and I'm like, put it behind your pair of safety scissors. And we do. She has a pair of these cute little Seminole safety scissors,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
She puts it behind that in her wallet, behind that, between her credit cards and shit. her bag gets flagged. We're like, oh fuck, she's gonna have to throw it away. Like, this is ass. Guy opens the bag, takes out her safety scissors, and is like, yeah, these are fine. Puts them back in and hands us the bag. And we're like, oh, cool, man. Thanks for doing that.
So where'd you put the semi-automatic rifle?
I shoved that up my ass. It's amazing what you can fit up there.
What'd you do
with
with the 37mm grenade launcher?
It was up there next to it.
Dang. That's
Listen, man,
crazy.
it's like
That's
like a bag of holding in there.
It's cavernous.
But that's like, there's a perfect example. Oh, it's safer. We need it for your safety. Oh, fuck. There's God, there was this like comedy songwriter I remember from a long time ago. Don't know if anyone listening to this has heard of him because there's only be like 5 people. Roy Zimmerman. He used to make like
That's the guy who killed Trayvon Martin.
He used to make like political comedy songs during the Bush era. I don't know what he's doing now. He made some hilarious stuff, almost like the Patriot Act and stuff like that.
Yeah, fuck you too, Bush, for making a Patriot.
Fuck you, Bush. Fuck all of you fucking assholes. Teddy Roosevelt was the last good president. Listen, if you haven't killed a man, you can't be president. But one of his songs
I like
was,
to get cool with Coolidge.
one of his songs was "For Your Safety and Convenience," about how like it's constantly like, oh, it's for your safety and convenience. It's for your safety and can't remember the fucking lyrics. It was a great song. But it was like nowadays I'm thinking of that and I'm just like, wow, that really is the case. Oh, it's to keep you safe. That's why we're locking you inside your home and you're not allowed to leave, to keep you safe. Listen, you're not allowed to own any property. You have to live in the communal building to keep you safe. If you own knives, you might stab someone. And that's the fucking thing. It's gonna happen with autonomous cars. There's going to be a big push, and I bet you if you look at the lobbying companies behind it, you're gonna find a bunch of groups that are kind of like weirdly sinister. There's gonna be, like all the car companies, the guys who are manufacturing the autonomous stuff, like the sensor and stuff, are gonna have lobbyists in any local government, national level, anything like that. And they're all gonna be lobbying to make it. You need to have this for the safety of your children. The safety of your kids. Don't you want them to not get run over? And it's going to get passed into fucking law. And they're going to, they can't outright ban non-autonomous cars. But they're going to slowly try to fucking phase them out. They're going to try and phase them out, and it's going to get more and more aggressive. There's going to be oh no, there's been so many cases of these non-autonomous cars running over a bunch of people in a farmer's market. Which has actually happened, but that's because the dude was like 90 years old and he was senile. There's gonna be a couple cases of that. So it's gonna be the same thing that's happening with guns today. And you were joking, like, oh, assault cars. That's gonna happen. Huh? Yeah, you said assault cars like 2 times.
I said assault cars.
You said assault cars?
Yeah, I said assault cars.
Listen, you guys both look so much alike. It's ridiculous. I can't keep telling you guys apart.
The mutt and the white guy.
It's the same hair, same height. Like
No.
It's gonna be the same thing that's happening with guns. Oh my god, why would you ever need a non-autonomous vehicle? No one needs a non-autonomous vehicle, okay? It's ridiculous. You're paranoid if you don't want the government controlling your car.
Exactly.
It's gonna be the same fucking thing. It's gonna be the same fucking. The usual suspects are gonna be involved in it.
It's just the fact that most people can't even take care of themselves these days. They need the government to nanny them. But there's actually something I want to talk about with autonomous cars. Now, how about the future of actually racing, sports racing?
Well, here's actually something. I wouldn't mind watching this. If they had like a league for people trying to program the fastest car and seeing things with like superhuman reflexes try to race each other, it might be cool. It's like the same way that like RC car racing is kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
Like, fuck yeah, I'll watch that. But at the same time, I know it's just going to be another excuse to get rid of
real drivers. And the thing is, no, the whole
point... be relegated to like a hobby kind of thing. Like, like the guys who race Model Ts or whatever,
Yeah.
It's going to be that really small niche thing in it.
When those robots came out that, could play chess and beat any professional player, it was like, oh, wow. That's crazy. No one's going to even play chess anymore. That's not happened. Just because a computer can be better than a human at something doesn't mean that humans aren't going to do it competitively.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
also another thing.
Racing won't die out. There's so many people who love racing.
Yeah, there are humans, who love to just race for the feel, the thrill,
You know,
whatever it may be.
you are right, because it's the same reason that new racetracks can keep getting built.
You know
Even though no one in the neighborhood wants it, there's a bunch of racers around who want
And
it.
another thing, with autonomous cars, honestly, I think viewers of who are into watching rally or Daytona 500 or NASCAR or whatever it may be, I think they would prefer humans only for the sole fact that humans will probably crash more.
NASCAR! Wasn't there like a survey that the main reason people watch NASCAR is because they want to see someone crash?
Yeah, probably.
Yes, yeah, I'm pretty sure the only reason why you watch like 30 cars go around a circle for 500 laps is to see them
Someone
crash.
Even NASCAR's crashes are boring if you compare them to like rally or F1.
Yeah, rally crashes are just devastating.
Here's something though that I'm actually going to give a little positive to the autonomous racing. Have you guys seen those robot sumo competitions?
Yeah, like those battle bots.
And it's just like the autonomous ones where you can't even, they're moving so fast you can't even tell what the fuck is going on, and then one of them wins by like slamming one of them so hard that they. But I kind of would want to see the racing version of that, like
Demolition Derby. Robotic Demolition Derby.
Oh,
Yeah,
that'd be
yeah,
so
there we
fucking
go.
rad.
That would be awesome. There we go.
Oh shit! Did you? I don't know if I've ever posted it in the chat. Robo Mouse. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Basically, the whole goal of it is you have this, like, they'll have a giant maze, right?
Yeah.
And each competitor has like a little robot. It's about the size of a computer mouse, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the whole goal is that you write the coding for it, and you code it so that it goes through the maze, and basically it goes, okay, it analyzes the maze, figures out where the end and the beginning point is. It's got to do all this on board and on something the size of a computer mouse and like as flat as like this folder you have, about less like a quarter of an inch thick, because
Basically a Raspberry Pi.
yeah, basically a Raspberry Pi. It's got to analyze the whole maze, find the quickest way from point A to point B. It does that. It slowly creeps through, finds everything, maps out the whole thing, checks every corridor that it thinks might have the possibility of having a faster way, then it comes back to the start. And then you see the guy who owns it, the guy who programmed and made it. He picks it up, and you see him take some like roll-on adhesive. And he rolls it on the wheels of it. And you're like, what the fuck is he doing? They place it down, and this thing zips through the maze so goddamn fast. I remember like one person did a super slow-mo of them.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they have basically glue on their wheels, they're going around corners, and some of the guys actually programmed for this. They're going around corners so fast that they are drifting, and they program to do that so that they'll cut the corner as close as possible while they're zipping through the maze. Honestly, if you ever get a chance, look up some like the national Robo Mouse competitions.
Oh, well, I'll do that.
Because Jesus Christ, I would love to see cars with that. That would be insane.
Here's the thing, though. Like, all the SJWs talk about how something's like empowering. What's empowering? Racing robot mice. That's truly empowering.
You know what?
Empowering is controlling something.
Yeah. Empowering is
Especially if it makes explosions inside it, like a car.
That's I can definitely argue that I don't think robot mouse racing is as manly as any sort of other racing.
I mean, let's be real though. Rally drivers, they don't have shit on robot mouse drivers.
Yeah, look at these robot mouse guys. They're putting the tape on the wheels. They're standing there. Look at them.
Yeah.
They're fucking champions. That's the thing. Like, that is one thing I would like to see. What a competitive AI programming, and then they'll take over and kill us all.
Oh, that'll happen.
Huh?
Oh, that'll happen.
Oh yeah.
Not the killing us part. I don't think that's.
No, that's gonna happen.
I disagree.
I mean, I'll admit, it would be kind of interesting to watch an autonomous car do a rally course as fast as possible.
Also, no one's gonna die.
Just put a white box truck on the off to the side of the course. It'll plow directly.
Oh no! The calculator. Why is the car trying to turn to the right? Fuck! There's a box truck off in the distance.
Did you ever have one of those toys where it's like you can draw a line with Sharpie and the car will follow it?
Yeah. Minebot. Yeah.
I love that thing. That thing's fun.
Let's
I had a car
have
version
racing
of
one
that.
of those. Someone has to. They have to use it's like the whole Oh, you could do it like you have to lay down a line for your car and it has to follow it. put your time starting from when you start running and like marking down the line with paint. There you go. So it's got to be like an athletic and a machine.
Yeah, and also the car is going to try to go wherever you draw the line. And if it can't physically do that, you're out of luck, buddy.
Have you ever like?
It's going off.
Oh yeah, it's gonna do everything it can to stay on there, but it's gonna fucking.
So you have to know what you're doing. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean,
So there is possibilities for cool shit, but frankly, I don't care. I want to still drive.
yes, that's the main thing is like
We're all gonna have to go to go-karts. I'm set. Are you?
it's the whole point of this culture is some people do it to modify the cars, show it off. Some people do it for the driving and maybe something in between. But to me, it's all about having fun on the road, driving, actually the real driving. And
How much do you think it would cost to shut down Tuna Canyon for a day?
$5.
No one fucking uses it.
who knows? I mean,
Donate to our Patreon GoFundMe to have Tuna Canyon shut down for racing only.
yes.
Donate to our Kickstarter.
Kickstarter. Close down Tuna Canyon permanently.
Yeah, if rich Hollywood studios can close down roads and shit, we should be able to as
If
well.
Jake Paul can fucking close down a road in Malibu to film some stupid music
Kickstarter. Get a highway number for Mulholland.
video. Kickstarter. Kill Jake Paul.
Nice. Sounds like a good one.
That sounds like a good use of money. I mean,
Hitman.
how much does it cost? How much does it cost to like have someone like? How much do we have to pay the government to put out like a death penalty on him?
10 bitcoins.
10 bitcoins.
10 bitcoins.
10 bitcoins.
That's $7.
Donate bitcoins to our bit wallet.
Yeah, BitWallet. I'm going to start listing out address now. Listen carefully, viewers, because it's a very long address.
23KL semicolon.
Hey, you forgot to say forgot to say if they were upper or lowercase letters.
Fuck! Starting over again. Uppercase H, uppercase J, lowercase K.
That's different than it was before.
It's a different wallet. Okay, I'm taking it.
Well, I mean, you gotta have like a couple hundred different addresses for your wallet.
Yeah, dude. When I go on the Silk Road and I buy child prostitutes made out of opium.
Wow.
Listen, it's an expensive.
How much
hobby.
do those cost?
Roughly 2 gigabitcoins.
That's too many.
That's you're getting way overpaid for that.
That's more bitcoins than exists.
That'd be what? That'd be like. No, giga.
That's
is,
2 billion.
There's definitely a Bitcoin out there, so I can't say how many there are. There's definitely at least one though. One Bitcoin out there.
Okay.
Anyways, autonomous Bitcoins.
Autonomous bitcoins. There we go.
What Bitcoin will you be driving in the future when we all go into the digital realm? I personally will be driving Ethereum. And Ethereum, no, I'll be driving blockchain.
No, I'll be driving meme
I'm driving
coins.
Bazinga coin.
I'm gonna drive
How
dog
about
coin.
you guys?
Dogecoin.
Bazinga coin.
Is that an actual?
You guys don't even know about the biz memes, dude. You guys are
Did they
sad.
actually make that?
There's a 4chan coin too.
I'm not gonna go into detail about it.
There's a fucking coin for everything.
There's a coin for everything.
Bazinga coin was this one that was
If
like
it exists, there's a coin of it.
Bazinga coin was heavily shilled by Indians on Biz and was obviously a scam. But it was like
I know it was Indians.
because
Indians.
that's not the point. It's completely off
I know
topic.
it did Microsoft
We're so off topic right now. It's unbelievable.
You have 80 viruses on your Macintosh Windows.
But that's the thing is autonomous cars could be a interesting. I don't know, it'd be interesting sport. I think it would be more like a one-time thing to watch.
Listen, nigga, if fucking synchronized swimming is a sport, then it's probably a sport.
Like people actually watching it though, because people still watch NASCAR and rally and all those things, and I don't know if people will still watch it after like the first few times of autonomous vehicles or AI controlled vehicles or whatever.
Hey, if they crash, anyone will watch it.
Yeah, exactly. Thing is, it's all about the human error, the human traits. We are humans. We make errors, and there's a possibility of crashing or something doing really cool as a human. But when
That's
we
why
see,
Group B was banned.
yeah, that's why the Group B was banned. But as computers do it, they are either going to be too perfect and it'll be really boring to watch, even though it's
I don't know, man. I think there's gonna be enough of like variance, enough things that could go wrong that it won't be crashing all the time, but there will still be a decent amount. I mean, like they'll be going probably a lot faster.
I mean, think of it like this. You ever played like Super Smash Brothers and just had 4 computers competing at level 9 competing at each other? They were going at very fast.
I have a Nintendo console, you faggot. I did though. I'm lying. I'm fucking
Everyone
lying.
had a Nintendo console.
I had
and
a
everyone's a
Wii. I had a Wii. It was the best console ever made.
I had a Wii too. I had a DS. I had a Super Nintendo.
I've had so many DSs.
I had 3
Game Boy.
DSs.
The Game Boy Advance, Nintendo. Why do you? Actually, no. What have they really done wrong lately? Have they done anything wrong?
Well, they still have to make games, so... I mean, to make good consoles, they just have to make games for their consoles. That's the problem. But this is a car channel, not a gaming channel. So let's move back onto cars.
Let's play episode 57 of our text adventure. So we're just going to narrate out what we're typing for you guys.
Okay.
Go west. Okay, we can't go west.
But the thing is, with the autonomous cars, I think it'll be too perfect, and it won't be entertaining to watch because of that perfection.
I don't know, man. When you look at those like robot fighting competitions, the autonomous ones, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some major fuck ups, and it's going to be awesome to watch.
I mean, BattleBots might have a more attraction to it because we see violence of some kind. And people love violence.
Well, BattleBots is human controlled, though.
Oh, I mean, autonomous BattleBots, whatever. Because I know what you're talking about with autonomous robots fighting each other. I've seen those, and yeah, they're pretty much in within like 5 seconds. They like do nothing. Then all of a sudden, like 1 second later, one's flipped over.
One more.
Yeah, exactly, like that. And but when it comes to like racing and stuff like that, I don't know. Like for example, rally, because rally isn't exactly racing. It's actually time attack.
Rally's also terrifying. There's so many things that could go wrong.
Yeah, there's so many things that can go wrong with rallying, and that's why it's entertaining, especially with human drivers. But when it comes to autonomous AI control cars, I'm not exactly so sure it'll be that entertaining.
I have actually, I used to.
Are you kidding me? Oh yeah, it won't be cool to see the robots flying over jumps as fast as physically possible.
I think it would be pretty cool. There is one thing though. I don't know how soon it's going to happen because I used to follow. I just remembered this. Not pulling this out of my ass, Dan. I used to follow before drone became like a fucking meme word, where it was autonomous. It was drone meant autonomous.
Yeah.
There was I was trying to follow the autonomous robot scene, and mostly it was quadcopters and helicopters and shit because it's a lot easier to just have a robot float around in the air than have to deal with terrain. But the makers of some of the open source drone software and chips tried to hold a competition for RC cars powered by the software because they just added a version where it's a rover option.
Yeah.
And they decided, well, let's have a race around the outside of a square building. I think 50% of the robots actually made it. And they're not going fast. They were going slow. One of them just kind of went off into the distance and just kept going, but it never came back. It took a while for them to find it because it ran out of batteries out in the middle of a field. It's going to be a little while before. Then Google held that AI car driving thing where they raced on a course in the mountains.
Really?
And a lot of them had some major trouble. Though at the same time, as I'm saying this, I remember my cousin Chris posted a video of him in one of Google's early self-driving cars driving around one of the parking lots at Google. And it was a Toyota Prius. Obviously the traction control was turned off because it was controlled by a computer. Holy fucking shit. It looks like some sort of crazy time attack driver driving. I don't even know what. It doesn't look like a fucking Prius when you're looking at how fast it's going and how much it's swerving. The entire time the tires are just screaming. It's going over he pointed out to me in one of the parts of the video where it goes over it's a parking garage or it goes up to one of the upper levels. It's we were airborne during that point and it didn't care. And it went through all the cones perfectly fine. It's fucking terrifying. It looks but no one's touching the steering wheel.
Yeah. I mean, There's also another thing I can think about when it comes to autonomous cars. Maybe people will use them, non-drivers use them kind of as a faux roller coaster on mountain passes. Because there's actually...
looking at the guys with the Teslas going on those?
Yes. I remember a couple months ago I watched a video about a guy in a Tesla vehicle using autopilot going through a mountain pass. And
I was here in fucking Malibu, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think it was the one you posted. Did you post it or someone else posted?
I think someone else posted it.
But yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
But yeah, I think he went through Mulholland or Malibu, but it was definitely here in Southern California.
Like a fucking soy boy in the video.
Yeah, it was like... Watching that, it was kind of interesting because it did seem like it was going extremely fast for a Tesla. And listeners, by the way, Tesla, most of them are way over 4,000 pounds.
They're big old boys.
Yeah, they're big. They're barges. And I was surprised how well it took the corners. For the most part.
I mean, still, that autopilot, like, it's still not designed to be fully autonomous yet?
Yeah, it's not exactly... The only way I consider autopilot autonomous is if you're on a empty freeway, and that's it. Because, again, if the white box truck gets in front of you, you're dead. And especially...
Sees one off the side of the freeway, just goes at a 90-degree angle and fucking plows off the side.
Exactly. It's one of those things that autonomy... It's kind of weird because I don't know how it will handle certain situations where you can't actually see over the hill. Will it actually slow down when it goes over like a hill like that? Or will it just keep going the same speed and realize that over a hill there's nothing over there or something and it falls off a cliff? Because there's some roads like that in the mountains.
That's actually a pretty good point. Oh, you want to know the sickest thing, the darkest thing to consider with autonomous vehicles?
What's that?
I don't know if either of you... I remember reading a whole article about it. The autonomous vehicle moral question.
Oh,
if the car will sacrifice you for the greater good.
Yes.
There's 5 pedestrians in front of you. Either the car will plow into them, or it will swerve and plow into a concrete barrier. It'll kill you if it goes into the barrier, but it'll kill the 5 people most likely if it plows through them. What does the car decide to do?
Yes, there is actually a lot of... That's a good thing. There's a lot of ethical questions about autonomy. Will it sacrifice the driver or will it sacrifice pedestrians?
Well, personally, I'm going to hack mine so that it doesn't even actually just run over pedestrians in an emergency. It'll just do it on its own. I mean, Tesla's way enough. Like, it won't notice. Like, just 1 or 2, little, like, Latino children walking down the street.
Speaking about, like, hacking autonomy vehicles...
Still not allowed to, by the way. Tesla will lock you out of your car if you try to modify it, by the way.
Oh, I mean, that's interesting. But another thing I was talking about, I believe there's a person out there, Ben Heck. He's a known hacker.
Yes!
You know him, right?
He's a fucking amazing dude. He's the first person who broke the fucking PS3 and the iPod. He jailbroke both of them. Motherfucking legend, dude.
Yes. He's actually working on an app for your smartphone to drive modern cars autonomously.
Rig up like a fucking, like, it's like a belt drive system, like, wrapped around your steering wheel and shit.
Not at all. It's just like you literally just mount it on your windshield, and it's usually for modern cars that have sensors already.
Okay, because I was seeing one
it works with that.
He was modifying, like, an old Corolla, and he had, like, a fucking motor, like, strapped to the dash with a belt, like a tooth belt going to the steering wheel and shit, and I was like, oh my fucking god.
He probably, most likely did. Ben Heck is that kind of dude who would actually do that.
I want to be friends with him. I want to meet him. He is a cool dude. But you are right, like, there's going to be an open source thing.
There's going to eventually be open source that maybe work on not exactly autonomous vehicles, but modern cars that have those front sensors, detect if there's like a collision possible, the auto braking things, safety features basically.
Something I learned, because I talked when I was working at Thousand Oaks Power Sports. Don't work there, but frankly, one of the least sleazy dealerships I've ever been to. It was nice being a salesperson and actually seeing the behind the scenes. Because I've done it in other places and just seen how much of a fucking scam they are. Thousand Oaks was not that much of a scam when I worked there. One of the sales guys, though, who was working with me, he used to be a BMW salesman. That's right, Mercedes. He used to work at this Mercedes.
Never buy a Mercedes.
The autonomous system that Tesla uses is the same one that it's developed by Mercedes. In fact, all the sensors, the computer that detects all that shit, it's in all Mercedes. Mercedes are just basically waiting for autonomy to get past. Like, the sensors are there, the camera, the little sonar, laser, all that shit. It's there. It's just not being used yet because it's not legal. Which, I think is kind of interesting. It also means that the autonomous system in Tesla is developed by Mercedes, so you shouldn't trust it.
That's kind of retarded, though, because to me, future-proofing anything is kind of retarded.
I mean, I think it's kind of nice to future-proof shit. Like, I'd rather have something that I don't have to throw away when a giant update comes out.
It really, I guess it really depends, but
there you go. So it's developed by fucking Mercedes. Those sensors, everything like that, it's a fucking Mercedes.
So, I mean, a lot of times when we come up to speculating, we can go on forever about this, but I think it's time to wrap up today's episode. Of course, we would like to thank our sponsors. Who would like to sponsor today? Postmates? Postmates.
No.
Yeah. No?
Dude, Postmates makes bad commercials.
Wait.
Have you seen those on YouTube?
No.
Oh, man, they're really bad.
Oh, yes, I know what you're talking about. I skip them as quick as I can.
Hi, Carla Chameleon.
Yes, we gotta like to thank Postmates, because one of my...
Have we thanked Nambla yet?
Nambla, I think we haven't thanked Nambla.
This episode is sponsored by Watermelon.
Cutting a hole in a watermelon and fucking it.
Yes. We'd like to thank Postmates and Nambla working together to sponsor this
Sponsored
episode.
boy abduction. Postmates will deliver your food and abduct your son.
Yes. If
It's
you
a trade. You don't have to pay for the food.
If you want a fresh boy delivered to your doorstep, please order a
I'm
post.
throw up from laughing.
Brought to you by TaskRabbits.
Brought to you by TaskRabbit. Not actually that bad to work for, because I work for them. Invite me into your home.
This episode was brought to you by the Ventura County Community College District.
What the fuck?
What have they done for you, Nero?
Fucking ripped me off.
That sounds like every college, though.
I'm going to one in this district now, and they don't rip me off, so...
It's all different.
Oh,
So,
man.
thank you, Nambla, for letting me be who I've always wanted to be. An openly fucker of boys.
Yes.
Wow.
Thank you, Nambla and
judging me?
Postmates, working together to deliver us young, fresh boys for our...
They gotta be young enough they don't have hair.
Yes, especially within an hour delivery.
An hour of birth.
Straight from the hospital.
Brought to you by the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
The CIA, FBI, and all your local police departments. Oh, someone's knocking at the door.
Yes. So, well, thank you for tuning in this week. Please subscribe, like, whatever you'd like to do.
If they don't have a warrant, they can't come in.
Yes, indeed. And please, again, a quick reminder, please vote yes on Prop 6 because that's complete bullshit. Have a good night, everyone, and tune in next time we ever post another video or podcast, whatever.
Goodbye, we love you.